Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damon yet again, and I've realized that we're hitting a stride now because now we're no longer into the single digits WrestleMania. We're in the double digits WrestleMania. I'll come with you to a WrestleMania 10, one of my favorite WrestleMania of all time, of all times, of all times, and it's still not safe. It's not basically exempt from the two-night methods. I want to have a good two-night show, and I have to basically modify it to make sure there's two nights. Because if I kept this carrying method, there wouldn't be more than basically 8, 9 matches. And knowing the current booking administration of under TKO would be like 4 or 5 matches. Now, the Royal Rumble winner agonized over that decision. But I would make it to be the sole winner will be Bret the Hitman Hart. However, I would have a pseudo tournament number one contendership because I would have had Lex Luger beat Yokozuna in an untitled match because Luger cannot have any other title match, but he basically tried to outsmart Jim Cornette. It's like, why can't I have a match with Yokozuna in an untitled match? And he does, and he beats Yokozuna in a non-title match, and he wins a short tournament, beating Adam Bomb, Diesel, big man like this, and Crush to basically earn a title shot at the same time. But Yokozuna, Jim Cornette's American translator, and Mr. Fuji said, no, no, no. In our contracts, with the moment if Yokozuna keeps the title after Royal Rumble 994, he doesn't get to defend the title until WrestleMania. Jack Tunney agrees. But Jack Tunney says he still has two challengers. Jim Cornette said, well, yeah, but we agreed to one match at WrestleMania. Only one. One title match only. It's like, okay, you want to play that way? Fine. And basically mention it. So at WrestleMania, Bret Hart's going to wrestle twice. And they're all laughing. Lex Luger's going to wrestle twice. And so do you, Yokozuna. And again, they say, hey, you know what? But it's only one title match. You're right. You're going to wrestle on 2 nights. First night, you're going to wrestle against an opponent of our choice, choosing somebody who you have history with in a non-title encounter. Because they didn't win the Rumble or the tournament, so they don't get the title shot. However, the main event of night 2, which basically will be the main event of WrestleMania, will be an unprecedented triple threat match for WWE title between Yokozuna defending against Lex Luger against the Royal Rumble winner of 94, the sole winner, Bret the Hitman Hart. Why triple threat match, you might ask, Damon? Well, WrestleManias in the 10 years have a great history of triple threat matches. It always ends up every 10th episode of WrestleMania, every 10th edition of WrestleMania, sorry, happened to be great. Happened to always reward the workhorse. And I figure why change that notion? So in that case, I feel like it'd be a great idea to continue that thread. So yeah, I feel like we should do exactly that. We continue that thread of of rewarding the workhorse. In that case, we Bret Hart. And for that, before we get to this, I have to remind you what happened the year before from WrestleMania 9 to WrestleMania 10. WrestleMania 9 to WrestleMania 10. In terms of the WB title picture, Bret Hart does lose the WB title to Randy Macho Man Savage at WrestleMania 9. And they both embrace, despite Bret Hart being unsure of himself. So to be unsure, since he's unsure, he's entering the King of the Ring, and he wins it. Then he goes on to SummerSlam, not facing Doink because Doink is already in facing like The Undertaker. I make sure that all my plans, basically, all my booking ideas keep lining up with each other. So he doesn't face him. He just faces straight up Jerry Lawler and he wins until he snaps afterwards. So he still loses by DQ. And he goes on to have the same angles for the rest of the year up to the Royal Rumble. He loses the tag title match because Bret Hart was too selfish, and that's why Owen Hart kicked his leg from under his leg. But he wins the Royal Rumble by himself. But On the other hand, Savage keeps the title from WrestleMania to Kingdom 1993, where he does indeed lose it to Yokozuna for the first time. Yoko is undefeated there, and he keeps the title for 2-3 months until he loses it to Lex Luger. And Lex Luger carries around for a month or so until he takes entire Camp Fuji and Cornette for Yokozuna to get the title back. It takes the Borga, it takes Crush, it takes all of them for Yoko to get the title back. Actually, mind that. Scratch that. He doesn't get it back the next month. He gets it back, like, let's say, soon, a little bit before Survivor Series, like around early November. Gets the title back around early November, and he keeps it until WrestleMania. And this is where the moment that Yoko gets the title back, it was basically saying if Yoko lost that title match, it wouldn't get a title shot as long as Luger is champion. But Fuji and Cornette basically managed to outsmart the faces and basically basically rolled a really small in contract. The same thing for Luger. So that's why Luger was not even allowed to have a title shot again. And even the Royal Rumble, it'd be in the final four. And he's about to basically seems to win until basically Yokozuna pulls him out of the ring. And it leaves Bret Hart, basically Fatu, and Shawn Michaels. Shawn eliminates Fatu, Bret eliminates Shawn to win. So yeah. So Luger did win the WWE title. Bret Hart's looking to get it back. But Bret Hart has to basically, since everybody's going to wrestle twice, of everyone in the main event scene has to wrestle twice in 2 nights. Bret Hart has to start off the WrestleMania 10 night 1 against Owen Hart, and this is how you keep it exactly the way it is. It'd be a crime for me to even touch it. Owen wins. Moving on. As far as Doink versus Bam Bam Bigelow, I would hope it's the evil Doink. I would hope it's Matt Bourne, but if it's not, it's a singles match between the two. And one way or another, even if it's Matt Bourne, I would have Bam Bam win. Third match, you have Macho Man Randy Savage versus Crush. Does it need to be false count anywhere? No. Do I want it that way? Yes. I want it that way. So, yeah. Up to this, the first 3 matches are the same as in real life. The fourth match will be for the women's title. It'd be a triple threat match because I don't want 2 triple threat match on 2 nights. On 2 triple threat in one night. It'd be Alundra Blaze defending title against the WrestleMania 1 Women's Champion. The woman will enter WrestleMania as will enter the first WrestleMania as the Women's Champion, Leilani Kai, against Luna Vachon. And I would have Alundra Blaze retain the title when she basically, like, she grabs Leilani Kai in German suplex position. She pushes Leilani Kai into Luna Vachon, who was in the apron, and delivers a bridge in German to win the match. Again, a 9-minute match, which is good. Then you would have the first Lex Luger match of the night would be Lex Luger versus Tenryu. Sorry, the first Lex Luger match of the nights. And Lex Luger versus Tenryu. Luger wins. Then the penultimate match is time for the WWE Champions non-title match. It'll be Yokozuna taking on Tatanka, with Mr. Perfect as special guest referee. I wanted to put Mr. Perfect as a competitor, but since his back was flaring up, he was unloyal to London, I don't think it would be feasible. So Yokozuna takes on Tatanka. Tatanka seems to be on the up and up. When Fuji and Cornette tries to interfere, Tatanka nails both of them. He goes to the top rope, does a tomahawk from the top rope. Yoko falls down and goes to the cover. And Perfect finds the 2 managers down the sides. So basically, he doesn't want to cover them. He doesn't want to cover them. And he basically reminds Mr. Perfect to do his job. Mr. Perfect basically looks for a reason not to pin them. So Tatanka gets up, tries to corner Mr. Perfect, and tries to tell him what to do. Even puts his hand on Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect doesn't do anything. But behind them, Yokozuna is running up behind them. Perfect sees this, so he gets out of the way, but Tatanka doesn't have the time to see it, so he gets splashed, belly-to-belly suplex, banzai drop, 1, 2, 3. Yokozuna wins. So of the 3 people who have to wrestle next night, only 1 lost, and that's Bret Hart. And the main event of WrestleMania Night 10 night 1, I would have the ladder match. So like this, there's no excuse of taking more time. It would have as much time, 20 minutes as it could have. Razor Ramon main events in a WrestleMania match where the IC title is on the line in the main event against Shawn Michaels, same as in real life. Razor wins to end the first night. Now we go into night 2. What could possibly be this? We start off with the World Tag Team titles with the Quebecers, Jacques and Pierre, defending tag titles against the Men on a Mission. And unlike in real life, which is just a lame count-on, I want to try to have Men on a Mission win the title. You could actually switch back the titles like 2-3 weeks later, but I think we need that moment. So yeah, then we'd have Bob Backlund taking on Quang. And this match will basically set up the Mr. Bob Backlund angle because it's not supposed to be more than 4 minutes long. And Bob Backlund's trying to be fair to wrestle his usual face style, like Howdy Doody style, until Quang spits the mist in his eyes. This is where, because the referee basically helps him take it off from his eyes, this is when the first time you see Bob Backlund clinching the crossface chicken wing on Quang. And Quang taps out or abandons. And you think, okay, Bob Backlund's going to release it. He doesn't release the hold. Eventually, he gets disqualified, and Quang wins by reverse decision. But it's already set up that Bob Backlund snapped. And I think that's very important there because it sets up the heel turn that happens as Mr. Bob Backlund against Brad in the Summer. Then you have the Bushwhackers taking Heavenly Body and the Heavenly Bodies, Doctor of Love, Tom Pritchard, and the Gigolo, Jimmy Del Rey, and basically the Bodies win. 8 minutes. In the next match, it's a retirement match. I mentioned basically that Tito Santana broke his WrestleMania losing streak last year against Rick Martel at WrestleMania 9 and was able to get the WWE title match out of this. He basically broke his streak. He felt like he avenged himself. And he beat Tito over the course of the following years twice. He beat him at WrestleMania and he beat him as a WWE champion in 1992. Now, Rick Martel can say he beat him twice in 1990. This is the rubber match. However, they don't have a title on the line. They don't have anything else on the line but their career. So it's a loser retires match. And I have Rick Martel win the title. I would have Rick Martel win the match. And I would have him win the match in a similar way that Bulldog beat Bret Hart. Like, he doesn't beat him decisively. It's a decisive win. It's fair and square, but it just says that he just one-upped. It just took one mistake from Santana for Rick Martel to one-up him. After the match, the team song of Rick Martel doesn't play for long before they both... Rick Martel is like celebrating being his arrogant self. Then he looks at Tito. It's like somehow their arrogance dissipates. He just looks at Tito, who's getting up. Music stops. They both look at each other. Basically, they're both staring at each other. They shake hands, they hug. And that's basically, yeah, what a victory, Rick Martel, I turn him face. He's still kind of model, but he's turning face. Because in a way, he's basically, thank you to Tito. I learned so much from you. And I wanted Tito to have a proper retirement. I know he's not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania 20, but right now, I felt like he deserved better. If you have to get him out, he's the only guy. And in that scenario, he's the only guy to wrestle from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 10. I think Tito deserves a hell of a lot better than an unceremonious exit in like August 1993. He deserves better. And that's why I make him in a retirement match right there and there. Then the next match, I had Earthquake squashing Bash and Booger. The squash against Adam Bomb plays it here for like 30 seconds. He squashed. Then in the penultimate match, who was supposed to be in real life, the penultimate match, you have 1-2-3 Kid teaming up with Bob Ollie, teaming up with Scott Steiner. Not Rick because he's injured, but just Scott Steiner and the Smoking Guns against IRS, Adam Bomb, Jeff Jarrett, and the Head Shriekers. Adam Bomb delivers what is now the Riptide. He delivers the full pump handle slam, pump handle bomb to win on the 1-2-3 Kid to win the match. In the main event, you have Yokozuna versus Bret Hart versus Lex Luger with Roddy Piper as the referee. And I would have it to be a very, very good match. Until basically, it would be a very good match. And Yokozuna seems to be handling both of them, except Luger. He doesn't have as much of an handle on Luger. but Bret Hart, Yoko can enable him. And you would have Crush interfere, you would have basically Camp Corn interfere, when suddenly out of the clear crystal blue, Hulk Hogan comes out to take care of the interference. He doesn't go challenge somebody after the match. He just takes care of the interference. Reason why is because I don't like the fact he left on a not pretty much a nothing happening pay-per-view like King of the Ring. He deserved to go out of WrestleMania as well. He doesn't need to match, but he needed this, and he's going to be in the main event in a way. So he takes care of Crush. He takes care of Tenryu. Takes care of anybody who tries to interfere. Uh, Piper clocks Mr. Fuji. I was nearly tempted to put Mr. T as a reminder of WrestleMania, but and you can have Luger take care of a punch out Jim Cornette, who throws. Maybe he could throw basically the tennis racket, then Yokozuna uses it against Luger and delivers a belly-to-belly suplex on Lex Luger. And he delivers a someone drop on Bret Hart. So you're thinking, oh no, he's going to retain the title. Luger is out cold because of the belly suplex. On Yokozuna tries the bonsai drop, but unlike in real life when he did nothing, I would have Bret Hart basically kind of surreptitiously shake the rope, shake the bottom rope to make sure that Yoko loses balance. And the moment he loses balance, Bret just immediately rolls him up like a semi-power bomb from the first rope. And this is what caused the 1-2-3. And at the last second, Luger tries to block the cover, but Bret Hart wins. The guy who lost on the first night won against the two other people who won the first night. And I thought we had poetic justice. And I thought that at the end of the match, you could have basically Luger does end up endorsing Bret Hart, but Yokozuna comes back. Hulk Hogan comes back in the ring. He's the one who presents the belt to Bret Hart. And it's like there's no tug of war. They both hug. I don't care if it works for him, brother. In my scenario, it actually is a passing of the torch. You have Savage come out to pass the torch to Bret. And you have all the babyface, Razor, the Kid, Bob Ollie, the Smoking Gun, Scott Steiner, Earthquake, the Bushwhackers, Men on a Mission. Every face that is not Doink come out to praise Bret Hart. And that's how WrestleMania ends. With Owen Hart looking at not associating with the other heels. Like Hogan and Savage say, come on, go greet your brother. Say, basically, he's not coming in the ring. Says, what about me? I beat you. Like in real life. No commentary there. And just that's how WrestleMania ends. And if you want a celebrity involvement, yeah, you have Ronda Shear, you have Burt Reynolds. But you know what? You have somebody like Tom Hanks as well to promote Forrest Gump. And yeah, and you have Bill Murray. You would add to this. So that's how I would have booked WrestleMania 10. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you liked it. I sure as hell enjoyed booking this WrestleMania more than others. See you around, guys.